Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome to today's Wild Rift video. In today's video, I'm going to show you all the power of Ashe. Now, I've always said that Ashe is a champion that does a little bit less on the damage side and is more to do with her utility thanks to her ultimate. But with this build, you can actually focus on doing a lot of damage. I think Terminus coming into the game has been a great addition for Ashe to try and do more damage. You have the likes of the Ruined Blade, the Ruin King as well, which also got a little bit of a buff in the most recent patch. And even other items that she works really well for, like Ruinous Hurricane and also Trinity Force. This build in general makes Ashe a lot stronger. Ashe did get a bit of a nerf in the most recent patch to her first ability. It was only about a 5% nerf, so I think overall Ashe can still be a great carry and still can be a really fun champion to play. Now, as for the boots, you want to go for Gluttonous Greaves over Berserker's Greaves. I still prefer Gluttonous Greaves as a boots choice. I think the only time that I want to go for Berserker's Greaves is maybe for champions that want to focus more on the attack speed because of their abilities. You know, someone like Vayne, for example, wants more attack speed because of her true damage on her second ability, but Ashe still works great with the attack damage and the Omnivamp. Terminus is just one of the greatest items in the game right now. Really strong item, great components, great passive as well, which means that you can buy it at any point during the game and you'll get the same percentage of armor pen. You also get the attack speed as well, and also it makes you a little bit tankier as an AD carry, which is always great, especially in this type of meta where there's so many champions that can one shot. Ruin Blade and Ruin King, not a lot of people are buying this as a first item, but it's still really good as a second item. The passive is still very powerful, and now that the ruined passive means that the item reduces less health now to you, it means it can be built a little bit earlier and have more benefit to you. It's only 20 health, but 20 health is, you know, better than nothing, I guess. Ruinous Hurricane for the spread damage works really well with Ashe's passive and just Ashe in general. Really good against a lot of melee champions as well. Trinity Force for the Sheen passive. Every single time Ashe uses an ability, she gets more auto attack damage, and just overall the stats are great for her. And then we also have Bloodthirster in there. You can flex a lost item to something like Wit's End if you're against a lot of magic damage, or even Guardian Angel as well. But Bloodthirster just gives you more damage and also more Omnivamp as well, because we're going to be attacking a lot with Ashe. As for the runes, Lethal Tempo with this on-hit style of build is the perfect option for Ashe. I mean, she's just going to get a lot of attack speed in general. Brutal for the extra on-hit damage. Giant Slayer for the extra damage against champions that have a lot of bonus health. Legend Alacrity for the attack speed, since we have a lot of healing already. You can also go for Legend Bloodline if you want to, but I feel like we have enough healing in this kit. And also Hex Flash as our secondary rune, because with Hex Flash, Ashe is a champion that doesn't have a lot of mobility, so being able to get basically half a flash every 20 seconds and being able to keep yourself alive, which happened a lot in this gameplay that you're going to see, just makes it really nice for Ashe to play. It means that she can use the Hex Flash to get away and keep auto attacking enemy champions and slow them as well, so she can keep on kiting and dealing a lot of damage. And for summer spells, we have Flash and Ghost. You can go Exhaust if you're against any assassins or bruisers and might do a lot of damage to you, but Ghost just works great in synergy with how Ashe works. With her auto attacks, she slows champions, and it even works on top of things like Blade of the Ruin King as well. This is one of the games that I played off stream, so I'm going to do a commentary over the gameplay. I know a lot of you like this sort of commentary over the gameplay, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, here we go. On to the gameplay. With Ashe we go. I mean, as I mentioned, this is the thing with Ashe, right? Like, I really enjoy playing the champion. I think the champion is super fun to play and also pretty easy to play at the same time. The way I like to compare Ashe to other AD carries, you know, you think of champions like Xayah, Lucian, any sort of champion like that. You compare the damage of them champions compared to Ashe, there is a pretty big difference. You don't get a lot of damage with Ashe. I think Ashe is probably one of the best dual lane carries to play if you're playing in like a trio queue, or even in a duo queue as well. If you're duo queue with like your jungler wants to set up plays, you can then use your Ashe arrow to set up that play, and you have someone there to be a carry for you, so then you have someone else dealing damage for you. However, in my opinion, in a solo queue environment, which is kind of what I always talk about when I talk about my tier list, that's why Ashe is down there as one of the least best, I guess you could say, AD carries. As I said, I think she's still pretty good, but I think in a way that there are champions that can carry a lot better than what she can. Speaking of this lane, though, we are playing Ashe Nautilus, which is a really annoying lane to play against as well. You know, once me and Nautilus get level 5, you got Nautilus ulti to knock up. You got my ultimate to CC as well. There's plenty of ways in which you can CC the likes of Varus and Lulu, which is our opponents this game. Varus going for first strikes, so probably going for the poke style of build instead of the on-hit, which I think is quite popular at the moment, the on-hit builds. You can see what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to auto attack as many times onto these minions so I can use my first ability quickly and be able to stack it up as soon as possible to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I took a pretty bad trade here. I think the reason why I took a bad trade was because of the minions. Like, the minion damage is kind of crazy in this game sometimes, but I didn't realize that I was getting so much aggro from the minions there. So kind of a mistake on my part, and I do need to be a bit careful here because Varus can also use his first ability to kind of poke me down, or I can get Lux ulti. I mean, that's that's another way that I could die as well, is getting Lux ultied. I hate Lux sometimes. Like, global ultimates in general are just so frustrating to play against. I mean, I probably could have dodged it, but old man syndrome, these hands are not as quick as what they used to be, you know. they're not as good as what they used to be. But yeah, unfortunate there that we die. I mean, I was kind of keeping an eye on Varus the whole time, making sure that I actually dodge when he uses his first ability. So yeah, I didn't react in time for the Ashe ultimate, unfortunately. Not for the Ashe ultimate, the Lux ultimate, sorry. Trying to get a kill here onto the the Lulu, sorry, which is a little bit difficult. You can see here that I'm also trying to kill the Master Yi. I'm not level 5 yet. I think if I was level 5 there, I probably would have been able to kill the Master Yi, just ulti and do enough damage to him. Unfortunately, I didn't have my ultimate yet because I obviously lost all that XP and all the gold from dying to Lux, unfortunately. So we kind of have to play a little bit more passive here. But I get my ultimate up. Talon is here. The cavalry has arrived. I get hit by the Varus ulti, but that's completely fine. Actually, Hex Flash away from the Varus Q as well, which would have done a lot of damage to me. It probably wouldn't have killed me, but it definitely would have done a lot of damage to me. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with Ashe. You know, that setup that you can have with your ultimate is a game changer. You know, it can be extremely helpful for your team, but it's just you rely more on your teammates than you do yourself. Whereas in solo queue, you kind of want to rely more on yourself, and you want to make sure that you are the carry, because everyone knows what matchmaking is like in Wild Rift. As I said, if you're playing duo queue or trio queue, I think Ashe can work exceptionally well, especially now with the new Terminus item as well, which I think is one of the best items in the game right now. I think it beats all these other items. I think just the amount of damage that you can deal with Terminus, the stats are incredible, the build path is really, really good. Just the item in general is just so powerful. Imagine if it had like a light item or something to it as well, like a light bonus. Be kind of nuts. I have to try and go back to base here. I think I got stopped by, yeah, I got stopped by Lux ulti. Oh, I know what happens here. I know exactly what happens here. Lux ulti bites the dust, and so does Varus Q. Yeah. It's kind of annoying because I didn't even realize that my back got cancelled. Because I was looking off the screen and no one would have seen the Lux ultimate there. But my back got cancelled by Lux ulti, which is kind of unfortunate. A little bit sussy actually from the Lux. How did Lux know that I was back in that exact spot? Kind of weird that, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought I was recalling, but yeah, I got hit by Lux ulti. Whoops, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a little bit sus. I think I remember getting a Lux in one of my games that was map hacking. I think they've kind of made sure that there's not any map hackers anymore in the game. Wow, I haven't seen any anyway, I must say, from what it was before. I haven't seen a Hex Flash over the full wall by Nautilus. Quick and easy kill there. I tried to flash over the wall here and get the kill onto Lulu, but yep, Lux just hits everything again apparently. This Lux is just hitting everything. Look, she's not missing. You see what I mean? She is not missing. She just doesn't miss me. She's just too good. I mean, she missed that one, I guess. So I guess it's just my fault, isn't it? It's kind of my own fault. Talon's just farming the jungle as my Nautilus is dying. Yeah, this game's been a little bit unlucky to start things off. I I have a few assists as well. I don't have any kills to start things off, but like I said, I think Ashe is a champion that you don't really need that many kills on because you're more of a supportive AD carry than anything else. You'll see later on in the game as well that we can actually, you know, still turn this around even if we are, you know, super far behind. I was going to use my Hex Flash to escape, but I didn't. And I don't even know why my Hex Flash didn't go off, by the way. It's really weird. No idea why my Hex Flash didn't go off. Use my ultimate here, though. Still do enough damage. Just waiting for the timing, really. Like I said, we have so much crowd control with myself and Nautilus. And to be fair, I didn't realize Varus was going to be in that bush. So I kind of overstepped a little to try and kill the Lulu. But as long as I play passive and as long as I can try and hit my ultimates every single time, then we'll be totally fine this game. Can get this tower pretty easily as well. Gonna use Hex Flash to try and get to Lulu sooner to try and auto attack her to death. And yeah, Nautilus is going to be able to tank up the damage as well. But the attack speed that you get with Ranger's Focus, Ashe's first ability, is crazy, by the way. Like, a lot of people, I mean, as you saw in this game, a lot of people are actually maxing Ashe's first ability instead of maxing Volley, which is very different to the way Ashe used to be played kind of right at the start of Wild Rift, like a few years ago. A lot of people used to go for like volley into you know, maxing volley into your first ability because it was more focused around the cooldown of volley and keep spamming that over and over again. You know, Manimune Ashe used to be a thing as well back in the day, but now it's a lot more focused on Ashe's first ability because they've just buffed it so many times. They just give you more damage, more attack speeds. It's just really nice, especially with this kind of build as well. You know, this build, you want to max your Ranger's Focus, your first ability, as a first item, as the first spell, sorry, because you want to make sure that you get that extra attack speed so you get more on-hit damage. You can see that I'm going to go for Wit's End this game instead of Blade the Ruined King, kind of itemizing against the enemy team comp, which is why I always say with builds, you always want to make sure that you itemize towards champions that you're playing against. I get a little bit unlucky here that I was unfortunate, but man, this Master Yi doesn't die either. Like, you can see how much attack speed I'm getting, but unfortunately I'm just not doing the damage yet. I'm nearly doing the damage. You can see they're all on 1 HP at the moment. I'm nearly doing enough damage. I mean, maybe if I went back and bought the Wit's End, maybe I would have dealt enough damage there. A little unfortunate. Both Master Yi and Lulu survived on 1 HP. That's totally fine. We're trying to set up the plays. We can see the Master Yi here. Yeah, I saw the Master Yi here, so I just Hex Flash away. But unfortunately, my Nautilus didn't see the Master Yi. But that's okay. Yeah, like I said, this game, I'm against Lux, AP damage. I'm against Dr. Mundo, AP damage. Varus even does AP damage as well. Lulu does AP damage. So it's kind of me adapting to the game and realizing that, hey, I need some magic resist. So let's build Wit's End, which is kind of the alternative item that I was talking about earlier on in the build section. Talon here trying to go for a play. I'm going to try and use my Ashe ultimate as well to try and set up the Talon, and there you go. Quick and easy kill there for the Talon. This is exactly what I'm talking about with Ashe. Such a great setup play. And I mean, like I said, if you're playing with a jungler like this Talon does, I mean, I wasn't duo with this Talon in the first place. I was duo with my support. But if you have a jungler that you duel with that plays like this Talon, or plays just Talon in general because the champion is just completely busted, then, you know, the champion can be really, really good. Focusing around the objective now. I actually can't remember if we took the first dragon or not. Did we take the first dragon? I can't remember. Yeah, Hex Flash coming in handy, though, already this game. Use the Hex Flash to get away from Master Yi a few times. Can use it to also close the gap as well. I have my ultimate again in a few seconds. We're just kind of waiting for them to walk up here. You can see here that we're just waiting for them to walk up. And as soon as they walk up, flash over the wall. I do miss my ultimate because Varus flashed, but that's totally fine. Hex Flash to close the gap again and get a nice, quick and easy double kill here. Really, I mean, this is what I was saying about this bot lane as well. Like, you have so much crowd control that even a Lulu cannot save the AD carry. You know, Varus, Ashe ulti, the Nautilus ulti, just time and time again, just ulti on top of each other all the time. Use my third ability here to actually spot out the Master Yi. You get really nice crowd control, and this is kind of the weakness of Master Yi, is that you just get completely caught by crowd control. Anytime that you're against a Nautilus as a Master Yi, you cannot play the game. As you can see, Hex Flash coming in handy there as well. I think if I didn't have Hex Flash there, I was probably going to die, because I use Hex Flash to actually go out of range of Master Yi's auto attacks. So it meant that I was still able to auto attack and deal damage, but also Master Yi couldn't auto attack me anymore because he was out of range. So really cool way that you can use Hex Flash. And again, it's really, really good against that comp as well, against champions like Dr. Mundo and also Master Yi. A little bit more gold for Blade to Rune King. Blade to Rune King is super important in this game as well because of the because we're against Dr. Mundo, which is obviously going to build a lot of health in general, which is going to be super annoying to deal with if we don't build it. Master Yi does kill me here though, unfortunately. That's a little bit too far, but we traded 1 for 1, or 2 for 2, I should say, in the end. Talon lives here. Just. Yeah, he just lives. The only thing is the only problem with Terminus in a game like Wild Rift, especially this game as well, is that when you're building Terminus, you cannot build the likes of, like this Ashe, this Lux, by the way, is hella sus. Like, I'm just saying now, watching back at this game, I didn't think of it when I was actually playing this game, but now thinking about it, this Lux is looking hella sus with these ultimates, I must say. I mean, it wasn't enough for her to win the game, but you know, looking a bit sus there. What's I talking about? Oh yeah, Terminus. So the only downside with Terminus is that you can't build items like Mortal Reminder, which is kind of what I really want to build this game, especially for the Dr. Mundo. Obviously to get the anti-heal for the Dr. Mundo is pretty important because Dr. Mundo just has so much healing. I kind of just have to rely on the rest of my team, I guess, to actually build anti-heal instead of me building anti-heal myself. But I think Terminus is just too good of an item to miss on a champion like Ashe. Really good ultimate here onto the Master Yi, and again, Master Yi is just completely chain CC'd, and hey, that's the downside of Master Yi. You know, everyone's saying that Master Yi is a broken champion. You can't do anything against crowd control, baby. If you're against any sort of crowd control at all, the champion is beyond useless. I mean, you saw there Ashe ultimate into Nautilus ultimate into Nautilus crowd control into Yasuo knock-up, like Yasuo ultimate as well. There were just so many ways in which that we can just shut down the Master Yi, and that's exactly what we did. I was actually blind over the wall as well. I didn't even realize at the time, but I was completely blind over the wall that I was able to kill the Master Yi, which was actually really well played. It's kind of part of the plan. I saw someone over the wall. It wasn't the Master Yi anyway. I didn't think that 4 people were over the wall. I did see someone there, so I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's set up the play. And that's exactly what we did. We set up the play really, really well in the end. Going for stasis, since I already have a sort of dash in a way with the Hex Flash. I don't really need Protobelt this game. I think stasis is pretty important because I still am against champions like Dr. Mundo and Master Yi who can just basically run me down, and I can't really do enough damage or burst damage to actually kill them. So I think it's pretty important to still go stasis, even though it's the most expensive boots and charm. Still pretty important to go. Dragon coming up in a few seconds. Well, we got blue buff, we got red buff thanks to our jungler. Got a few extra objectives under our belts. We're going to get in more damage from red buff and also more ability haste from our blue buff. Stack up our first ability on the Drake, keep on bursting down, and yeah, this dragon is just gone. But yeah, we did get the soul in the end. Unfortunately, my Ashe ultimate hit the Varus. Look at Dr. Mundo's damage here, by the way. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks. That was 2 auto attacks. This Dr. Mundo nearly killed me 1v1 with 2 auto attacks. That was it. And that's where stasis comes in handy. I mean, I was able to obviously Hex Flash away as well, which meant that Dr. Mundo couldn't get the extra auto attack off. Luckily, my support is actually a protective support. I haven't had a lot of them recently. Most of the time, supports just kind of go off on themselves, and they don't actually protect the AD carry, which is kind of annoying. Every time I'm like fed or I'm doing a lot of damage, if I'm playing like Xayah or someone like that, and I'm extremely fed, I'm just saying to my team, just protect me. That's all you need to do. Just peel for me, protect me. If anyone jumps in, just CC them. Just deal damage to the first target in front of you. Sometimes that's the only way that you can play Wild Rift, but sometimes people don't really follow that. But yeah, GG's anyway. Really, really fun game of Ashe. Very, very cool game. Like I said, I think the champion is pretty okay. I think there are situations in which Ashe can definitely work. Like I said, you have to try and pick off champions with her ultimate, which is the most important thing. And also with this build as well, like I said, I think ONHIT in general is a lot more popular now, thanks to Terminus being added into the game. You know, ONHIT Varus is now a thing. ONHIT Kai'Sa is now a thing as well. 27,000 damage. I mean, I do always say that Ashe doesn't really do a lot of damage, but hey, we did the most damage in this game though, even though we died quite a few times during the early game. So it's really the late game that you can kind of scale up if you build these on-hit items like Terminus, Wit's End, Blade Ruin King, etc, etc. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about Ashe. If you want this type of content even more, let me know down in the comments. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next part of the video. Peace.